We all recognize the standard map of India, but that flat, static drawing is actively deceiving us. Take a look at this grid. India spans roughly 30 degrees of latitude from north to south, and an identical 30 degrees of longitude from east to west. But the ground itself tells a different story. The north-south distance measures 3,214 kilometers, while the east-west span is significantly shorter, at 2,933 kilometers. This mismatch is a direct result of Earth's geometry. As we move away from the equator, vertical longitude lines converge toward the poles, physically shrinking the distance between them. Meanwhile, horizontal latitude lines remain perfectly parallel. India sits far enough north that its 30-degree horizontal spread is physically squeezed by those narrowing lines. That 30-degree span from east to west creates a massive temporal divide. A full 2 hours pass between the moment the sun hits the mountains of Arunachal Pradesh and the moment it reaches the coast of Gujarat. Despite this solar reality, Indian Standard Time artificially forces the entire landmass to operate on the exact same clock. These static lines and standardized zones are rigid human attempts to impose order on a vast, geographically unruly landscape. We usually assume India's longest and most difficult borders are the high-altitude mountainous frontiers shared with China or Pakistan. In reality, India's longest international border is shared with Bangladesh, stretching over 4,000 kilometers. The border reaches this length because it is a porous, zigzagging line. It weaves through complex river systems, agricultural fields, and human settlements, turning what looks like a short distance into a massive physical perimeter. At the other extreme is the 106-kilometer border with Afghanistan. Known as the Walk-On Corridor, its tiny size belies its massive strategic importance as a gateway to Central Asia. A border's physical length on paper is irrelevant to its complexity or its impact on the ground. We often perceive the Himalayas as a permanent, ancient wall shielding the north. The geological truth is much more violent. The Himalayas are the youngest mountains on Earth, born from the tectonic impact of two massive plates. This collision created three distinct parallel tiers of mountains, the Greater, Lesser, and Shivalik ranges. The Himalayas are an active, living geological engine that continues to push higher into the sky every year. It seems logical that mountains must exist before the rivers that flow down from them. However, the Indus, Sutlej, and Brahmaputra river systems actually predate the existence of the Himalayas. As tectonic plates pushed the mountains upward, these ancient rivers acted like liquid saws, continually carving deep gorges to maintain their original paths. These rivers defy the static lines on our maps by constantly shifting their identities. The Ganga, for example, is not born as a single stream. It is created at Devprayag when the turbulent Bhagirathi crashes into the calm Alaknanda. The Brahmaputra is an even more dramatic shapeshifter, beginning as the quiet, calm Zangpo on the Tibetan Plateau. As the river hits the Himalayas, it pulls a massive U-turn and drops thousands of feet in elevation, transforming into the violent, gorge-carving Dihang as it enters India. Once it reaches the plains, the Brahmaputra reveals its dual nature. It is a destroyer that floods entire regions, but it is also a creator that deposits the silt necessary for India's most fertile lands. These ancient, shape-shifting rivers define the geography of the land and the history of its people far more than any blue line on a map. India's untamed physical geography forces human civilization into a constant negotiation with its power. The 1960 Indus Water Treaty between India and Pakistan stands as a prime example of this high-stakes negotiation. By successfully dividing control of 6 critical rivers, the treaty proved that the raw survival need for water can force cooperation between even the most bitter geopolitical rivals. This entire system remains fragile. The high-altitude glaciers that feed these rivers are currently shrinking due to climate change. As these glaciers alter their flow, the physical changes threaten to rewrite international treaties and compromise the water security of the entire subcontinent. The true map of India is not fixed in ink. It is a living entity, carved by ancient waters, pushed by tectonic forces, and survived by billions of people navigating its extremes every day.